But first tonight, that big story that we've been tracking since this morning. Mumbai has witnessed yet again the Shiv Sena's brand of hooliganism when Shiv Sena smeared ink on the face of former Vajpayee and Advani aide Sudheendra Kulkarni. The attack came as the Sena forcefully opposed the release of a book written by the former Pakistan Foreign Minister Khurshid Kasuri and released by an organization headed by Mr. Kulkarni. Kulkarni, who hopped from TV studios to TV studio with the smear still on his face, has claimed that the Sena has blackened India's face.
Former Pakistan Minister Khurshid Kasuri's book launch took place in Nehru Centre after high drama unfolded in Mumbai. A group of men belonging to the Shiv Sena attacked Sudheendra Kulkarni, the head of the Observer Research Foundation, throwing ink on him as he left his home in the morning. The incident a warning to the foundation.
A group of Shiv Sainiks mobbed me and they asked me to come out and get out of my car, and they smeared me with this black paint.
As a political worker, I recognize the right of people to protest, but I've always understood that as long as it is peaceful, it's justified.
With Shiv Sena youth wing leader and Uddhav Thackeray's son Aditya justifying the attack, the outrage continued to peak.
I strongly condemn whosoever has done it.
Facing massive anger, an hour ahead of the book launch, Sena staged a conditional climb down.
मुख्यमंत्री मन ही मन में नहीं चाहते होंगे कि यह कार्यक्रम न हो, लेकिन उसकी मजबूरी बतौर मुख्यमंत्री हो सकती है। लेकिन मुख्यमंत्री को चाहिए था कि ये जो एंटी इंडिया सेंटिमेंट्स उसका प्रोपेगेंडा न हो, इसलिए हमने उनकी स्थिति मजबूत बनाने के लिए हमारी तरफ से निवेदन दिया है।
Hours after the ink attack on Sudheendra Kulkarni, Shiv Sena staged a backed-off Conditional. Shiv Sena wrote a letter to CM Devendra Fadnavis by saying that CM should intervene in this entire matter and should not allow this program to happen.
Last week, the Saffron Party forced the cancellation of a performance by Pakistani ghazal singer Ghulam Ali, and now it threatened to launch a Sena-style protest against the Kasuri event, raising the question, how long will the Sena hold Mumbai hostage? Bureau Report for India Today.
And earlier in the day, I spoke to the newsmaker Sudheendra Kulkarni soon after he fell victim to that ink attack. With ink still on his face, Kulkarni insisted he was going to continue with the book release, as he eventually did. And joining me now is our newsmaker of the day, Sudheendra Kulkarni joins me. First of all, Mr. Kulkarni, I hope you are well, because the most important thing is your health. I hope you are well.
I am well, Rajdeep. I am perfectly well.
The other point is that I want to congratulate you on your bravery. You've been extremely brave in the manner which you've handled this entire situation. So kudos to you for that. But tell me, are you still a little bit rattled, surprised by what happened this morning?
No, I am neither rattled nor surprised, because the Shiv Sena had already made its intent known. They had written a letter to our co-organizer, that is Nehru Centre, where the program is going to take place this evening, and I want to tell you that the program will indeed take place. And the letter had made it clear that if we do not cancel it, they would disturb it, disrupt it in Shiv Sena style. So the Shiv Sena style, they have done it, and I hear that perhaps this is a saumya, a mild way of expressing their outrage. Maybe they have something else in mind, I don't know. But I'm not rattled, I'm not surprised, nor am I deterred, afraid. We are in public life, we are working for a noble cause, there is nothing selfish about it, and we are prepared to face the consequences.
Now the main objection that the Shiv Sena still seems to have is that your act of releasing Mr. Kasuri's book in Mumbai is deliberately provocative. Mr. Kasuri was foreign minister when a number of cross-border terror attacks took place on this country, and therefore A, you should be more sensitive, they say, to their concerns or the concerns of Indians who feel strongly about Pak-based terror, and B, that your act is provocative. How do you respond to this argument about sentiments and sensitivities being hurt?
Rajdeep, yesterday, Satish Sani, the CEO of Nehru Centre, and I went and met Shri Uddhav Thackeray. And I told him, and in fact it was part of a press release that we had put out yesterday, that we share the concern of all patriotic Indians, we share the concern of even the Shiv Sena, concern and outrage at the terrorist activities perpetrated by Pakistan-based groups. And I told Uddhav Thackeray that your concern and your anger is something that I fully share. We must put an end to terrorism in all its forms, and there can be no compromise whatsoever in the fight against terrorism. But I also made it clear to him that our government and our army, the armed forces, are quite capable of countering this menace. The victory will come tomorrow, day after, but they are quite capable. That does not mean, I told Uddhav Thackeray, that there should be absolutely no exchange of people between India and Pakistan. That no Indian artist, intellectual, political personality, others can go to Pakistan and no one from Pakistan should come here. I mean, that is not the stand that is approved by a majority of Indians, and nor is it the stand of the government of India. I also mentioned to Uddhav Thackeray that only a few months ago, our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi and Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, they met in Russia, and a very good joint statement was put out. And one particular point in that joint statement is that the two governments will together cooperate to eliminate terrorism from the entire South Asia. Point number one. I also brought to his attention another point where the two governments would cooperate to promote religious tourism as part of the wider framework of people-to-people contacts. I mean, this is the stand of the Indian government. So how can any organization or a political party say that we will impose a ban on any Pakistanis coming to India? I mean, this is unlawful. And I told Uddhav Thackeray that you have every right to protest lawfully, peacefully, and we honor and respect your right. But you should also respect our right to hold the program, because we are doing it completely lawfully.
But the fact is, what was Uddhav Thackeray's response?
I must point out, Rajdeep, one more very important point.
Yes, go ahead.
Our co-organizer, the meeting went on for more than an hour, and Uddhav Thackeray was again and again coming back to that, Pakistan is doing this and India is not giving a proper answer. That was his concern. But we told him that we believe that the solution, the eventual solution to all the problems between India and Pakistan is only through dialogue. Dialogue between governments and also dialogue amongst people. And I also pointed out, in fact, I have read Khurshid Kasuri's book, and I had pointed out, underlined all those places where Kasuri has in fact condemned terrorism from Pakistani soil. He has also mentioned that the non-state actors in Pakistan who were being promoted, it has harmed the interest of Pakistan. So there are many good points. He has also, very emphatically, strongly said that history is being taught in a wrong manner in Pakistan by negating the common civilization between India and Pakistan, because before 1947 there was only one civilization.
But Mr. Kulkarni,
so there are many good points, and therefore I told Uddhav Thackeray that it's an opportunity for people of Mumbai to listen to someone like him.
But how will you respond?
That does not mean that we approve and endorse 100% of what he has written.
But how will you respond to those who say that the Shiv Sena's claim that it stands for the majority of Mumbaikars? The irony, of course, is that it's in the government in Maharashtra, so the law enforcers are turning lawbreakers. But that apart, the Shiv Sena claims to stand for the majority opinion of Mumbaikars, who they say are angry and outraged with Pakistan and Pakistan-sponsored terror.
You see, the whole of India is outraged. As I said, and I told Uddhav Thackeray that the city of Mumbai is the biggest victim of cross-border terrorism. You know, beginning with 1993 bomb blast, 26/11 and many other incidents here. So we can't at all, you know, if we are true Mumbaikars, if we are true Indians, patriotic Indians, we can't be in any way condoning acts of terror. And I also mentioned to him that today the situation in Pakistan is changing to a certain extent because they are realizing that terrorism, support to terrorism is boomeranging on them. Because large number of people are being killed in terrorist acts in Pakistan itself. So, you know, if after all this, if they have a different point of view, they are entitled to a different point of view, but they are not entitled to taking the law in their own hands.
Let me ask you in conclusion, the Shiv Sena believes, and they've done this over the years, the fact is there is a BJP government in power. The fact is that Devendra Fadnavis has promised full security for your function. What does it say then about the nature of government? Both in Maharashtra and possibly at the center, if a key ally of the government believes that it can arrogate for itself the right to resort to a violent protest, what does it say about us as a people and more particularly about the nature of government if an intolerant force like the Shiv Sena is allowed to get away with it?
Rajdeep, I want to say that we are very grateful to the government of Maharashtra, especially to the Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, for taking a very strong, firm, principled stand on the threats of the Shiv Sena. They have given full security to Khurshid Mahmood Kasuri right from the moment he arrived in Mumbai yesterday. So the government is not in any way responsible for whatever may have happened. But, you know, it is the act of some intolerant people. This does not represent the ethos of Mumbai, it does not represent the ethos of Maharashtra and certainly not of India. And I hope that sense will prevail.
I'm going to ask you though in conclusion, I'm going to ask you though in conclusion, this is not the first time.
I must point out one more thing, Rajdeep.
Yes, go ahead.
This is not an insult to me. You know what I was wearing?
Go ahead.
You know, I want to tell you, can you see what I am wearing?
Yes.
It is tricolor, Tiranga. I am proud of this, the tricolor. So it's not I who has been defaced, blackened. They have blackened the Indian flag, what India stands for.
But Mr. Kulkarni, this is not the first time.
The value of diversity.
But Mr. Kulkarni, this is not the first time. Mr. Kulkarni, this is not...
Pranab Mukherjee said that tolerance and diversity are the core values of our civilization.
But Mr. Kulkarni, this is not the first time the Shiv Sena has done it. They've been doing this over the last 25 years and Mumbaikars tend to remain silent. My point is simply this. Where is civil society there standing up with you? Where is the state? I know you say that Mr. Fadnavis is providing security to you at the moment. But questions will be asked that the Shiv Sena feels they can get away with it. So do you believe that anything will really change as a result of your deciding to go ahead with this function? Do you really believe that Mumbaikars will stand up and say enough is enough?
You know, I can only say this, whatever has happened is not good for our society. It's not good for Mumbai, it's not good for Maharashtra. And I have been a Mumbaikar, a very proud Mumbaikar. And the people of Mumbai are tolerant, they are liberal. The people of, people who are Maharashtrians and Marathi people, they are tolerant. They have a very rich history, proud history of liberalism. I think that this tradition needs to be revived, strengthened by all of us. It's our collective duty.
Mr. Kulkarni, I appreciate your joining us and sharing your thoughts on this day. Once again, I hope you are well and I hope you keep well. And congratulations for the stand that you have taken. It's rare that such stands are taken in today's society. The bigger question, of course, is has Shiv Sena as a result blackened the face of this country? And what is the Shiv Sena really doing? Is it a law unto itself? Is this politics playing out in Mumbai or is it a fixed match? Some are calling it a fixed match in Mumbai. Joining me now, Manisha Kayante, she is the spokesperson of the Shiv Sena. Rakesh Sinha is the RSS ideologue. Nikhil Wagle, senior journalist who's been targeted by the Shiv Sena in the past, C.R. Keswan, spokesperson of the Congress, and G. Parthasarthi, former High Commissioner to Pakistan. First, straight to the Shiv Sena and you, Ms. Kayande. Do you want to apologize today in any form for what you did today? Would you apologize and say sorry that maybe we got it wrong, that we should not have taken the law into our own hands and thrown ink in the manner that we did on Mr. Kulkarni?
Rajdeep,
yes.
As far as much I know you and the country knows you, I was very sure that you would ask this question. It was quite expected. So I am happy that I know you well, and the country also knows you well, and the Shiv Sena knows you very well.
No, is that a threat? No. What are you suggesting,
I want to ask one second.
Ma'am, what are you suggesting? I have made a simple question to you.
I am not suggesting anything. I am not suggesting anything. I just said that your question was as expected.
Yes. I am a journalist. I will ask questions.
As much as the country knows you.
Yes. My job is to ask questions.
Okay. Go ahead. Well, let me tell you. Let me ask Mr. Sudheendra Kulkarni and Mr. Kasauri. Mr. Kasauri, when he was the advisor to Mr. Musharraf, he was the one who always nurtured the separatists. He said he will not give Dawood Ibrahim. He would not. Yes, of course, I'll be saying the same thing on the channel because you said the same thing. Naturally, Mr. Sudheendra Kulkarni was the one who put LK Advani into trouble and gave him wrong advices. He was kept away from the party, and that's why today he was with the orange and green. There was no white. Don't, Mr. Kulkarni. People know you very well.
Are you saying
BJP also knows you very well?
So no question of an apology. So no question of an apology.
BJP into trouble.
So no question of an apology.
Should we apologize to Mr. Kasauri or Mr. Sudheendra Kulkarni?
I am asking you, ma'am. Today you are not an opposition. Ma'am, Manisha ji, you are not an opposition party.
The entire country is with us, except few journalists.
Ma'am,
except a few journalists. The entire country, the entire Mumbai is praising Shiv Sena.
It's praising the Shiv Sena. Ma'am, you are now in government.
Because
should you not? Are you law enforcers or law breakers?
30 years. For 30 years, we are negotiating with Pakistan. We want peace. Our Jawans are being beheaded. And we want to sway to the musicians and to the singers of Pakistan. What are you talking?
No, my riveted point, ma'am, I hope you know that even as we speak, there are as many as 14 Pakistanis who are recording for various Indian channels in television studios. I haven't heard a word from you on that. What you have gone and done is only given more publicity both to Mr. Kulkarni and Mr. Kasuri.
In Dubai. They do the recordings in Dubai.
Are you saying that no Pakistani
Not in India.
Are you saying no Pakistani can come on Indian soil, whether he's a musician, whether he wants to...
They come in disguise. They come in disguise, or someone, they do it trickfully. I've studied that aspect also.
Okay, just a minute. You don't seem to be therefore willing to apologize even by one word. I am also not surprised, just as you claim you are not surprised.
What apology?
Okay, I am also not surprised, ma'am. Let me bring in Nikhil Wagle for a moment. I'm going to widen this debate for a moment. Nikhil Wagle, you're hearing the Shiv Sena and you probably heard this many times in the past. They've dug up cricket pitches, they've attacked people in the past. You are among those who was targeted. Today they have attacked Sudheendra Kulkarni. They are saying, Shiv Sena is saying, this is double standards that has always been practiced in India, that they will never agree to allowing Pakistanis to come in India even as there is cross-border terrorism. Do you believe that the Shiv Sena today is doing this only to get to create a political identity for itself in Mumbai? That the real battle is between Shiv Sena and BJP?
Yes, definitely, Rajdeep. Shiv Sena is just doing political stunt. The problem is that they are talking about hypocrisy, but their behavior is hypocritic because they are part of this Modi government, and this government of India has given visa to Khurshid Kasuri. If they are serious about their concern or serious about their stand on Pakistan, they should go to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and quit the government. Why they are there in government and they are opposing here, they are blackening face of an Indian citizen and they are not telling Narendra Modi anything. Indian government had decided to give visa to Pakistani citizens like Kasuri, and Shiv Sena is protesting in Mumbai. This is double standard. And Rajdeep, this is not about Pakistan,
Rajdeep,
this is not about Kasuri. This is about standing up to Shiv Sena's Gundagardi. This is about emphasizing my freedom of choice as Mumbaikar. So, if Shiv Sena says Mumbaikars are with them, I think Shiv Sena has every right to protest in democratic framework, but attacking anybody's office, attacking a person or blackening anybody's face does not fit in democratic setup. That is unlawful. And I must congratulate Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis for protecting these organizers of this Kasuri show.
You know, before I come to you, Mr. Parthasarathi, I just want to ask you, Manisha ji, the point that Nikhil Wagale made. If you are so angry, then why don't you stage a black flag protest outside Mantralaya? Because Devendra Fadnavis promised security to Kasuri. Why don't you stage it outside 7 Racecourse Road? Because a visa was given by the Narendra Modi government. Why don't you personally protest to Mr. Modi or leave the cabinet? Leave the cabinet if you believe that this government is reaching out to Pakistan. The Prime Minister himself shakes hands with Nawaz Sharif. The Prime Minister himself moves a resolution in UFA calling for joint action against terror. Why is it that you don't protest against the government? You are part of this government. You want to remain in cabinet. You like the Lal Batti, whether in Mumbai or Delhi. Then you leave this government.
Rajdeep, I have understood your question fully. I would like to answer you and Nikhil Wagale as well. We don't need an advisor like Nikhil Wagale to run our party. We have complete faith in Mr. Uddhav Thackeray for guiding the party.
No, you answer my question.
Nikhil Wagale ji, yes, I'll answer it. It answers your question also. Nikhil Wagale ji belongs, and even you belong to a certain class of people who feel that you are only the intellectuals in the country, and intellectuals means tolerating Pakistan. Those who tolerate Pakistan, those who are pseudo-secularists, they are thought to be intellectuals. This is some wrong, some sort of an equation that you people have formed.
Madam, you have every right. You have every right to abuse me. Ma'am, you have every right to use every word against me, but you do not have the right to throw black ink on me. You don't have the right to commit violence. In fact, I wrote an open letter to Aditya Thackeray, to which he has replied saying throwing black ink is not even violence.
There are various ways of protesting.
No, but is this the way? This is a way of protesting.
There are various ways of protesting.
So this is not violence.
Why is Mr. Sudheendra Kulkarni moving about with a black face? Because he wants a position in the party. He is using this as a
because you gave him the opportunity.
Party post. He wants to come back into active politics. That's what he wants to do.
Ma'am, you didn't answer my question. Why don't you protest against Narendra Modi's government? Why are you protesting against Sudheendra Kulkarni? Forget about him. Forget about him. You have given him publicity.
We will do it.
You will protest against Narendra Modi?
We will do it.
Who protest against those who gave a visa to Kasuri?
Are wrong. We have protested. Yeah, listen. Regarding the ordinance bill, land ordinance bill, we did protest.
Ma'am,
we spoke to Mr. Modi.
Protest
regarding
to those who gave the visa.
We went and spoke to Mr. Modi.
Ma'am, I am going to.
Of course, we'll do that also. Why not? And we have been protesting regarding that also.
Okay, I'm going to bring in Mr. Parthasarathi as a diplomat. You're hearing the Shiv Sena. The Shiv Sena at the moment has taken a very clear stand.
Rajdeep, 1 minute. I have to leave for another show.
No, 1 minute. One minute. You please wait, ma'am. It is very critical to have you. You wait for 5 minutes. Be little patient. Today you are the star of the show. Be a little patient. Listen. Just listen. Just listen to Mr. Parthasarathi for a moment. Here's a senior diplomat who has been High Commissioner to Pakistan.
Okay.
Ma'am, please tell us. You've heard the Shiv Sena position. Your response.
Rajdeep, I don't want to get into the politics of this.
Yes.
But may I remind the other participants here that I have a record of having fought Pakistan in 1965 in Pathankot and the Sialkot sector as a proud member of the Indian Army. And I have served 5.5 years in Pakistan. So I have seen every aspect of Pakistan life, from their worst, manifested by the army, manifested by the likes of Hafiz Saeed and the Islamic parties. But every country has its good and bad. There is no doubt a very large number of people who hold the view which the lady from the Shiv Sena has spoken about. But there are also a large number of people who admire India and Mumbai. They admire our freedoms. They admire Bollywood. They get Bollywood actors. So I think we have to deal with them in a nuanced way. The nuanced way, according to me, which I have always advocated, is take a very tough line on the military, take a very tough line on terrorism, and deal with it ruthlessly. much more ruthlessly than our politicians.
Shiv Sena is saying it's double standards, that if you expect, if you are going to engage the Pakistanis in some kind of hospitality, whether it's cricket or music or book releases, and have cross-border terrorism at the same time, you cannot. That's evidence of double standards.
Like there is no black and white in any country, there is no black and white in Pakistan. Even if there is a small minority which holds views like I have repeated, you have to address them.
I've answered all the questions.
Address them.
Please allow me to leave.
Lady, I didn't disturb you, madam. Please don't disturb me.
Yeah, ma'am, you have to listen to one question that I'm going to ask.
Please have the patience. You are 40 years younger. You are 40 years.
Just a minute. Mr. Parthasarathy, I'm going to come back to you. Before you leave, Ms. Kande, I know you are in demand across channels. I'm going to ask a very simple question at the end to you. Ma'am, you have every right to protest. You have every right to respect the sentiments as you see it of a majority of Mumbaikars. But you do not have the right under our constitution to throw black ink on someone or to try and forcibly stop someone from having a concert or having a book release. Will you at least concede that? You don't want to apologize one thing. Do you concede that throwing black ink on someone is anti-democratic, is violent? Yes or no?
It was the sentiments of the Karyakartas. It was the sentiments of the people. People cannot tolerate such activities.
But you don't represent all Mumbaikars.
Have no grievance.
Madam, you don't represent all Mumbaikars, surely. You don't represent all Indians.
We don't need any advice from anybody to run the party, or we don't ask the media how to we protest. We don't ask the media and do anything.
No, do you believe, you are not answering my question. Do you believe that putting black ink on someone is violent or not? Yes or no? Okay, the Shiv Sena guest has left us. Rakesh Sinha.
No, let me complete.
Yeah, I'll let you complete in a moment. I just want to get every viewpoint. I just want to hear from the RSS for a moment. You have seen the Shiv Sena response, Mr. Rakesh Sinha. The BJP, which was supposed to come on my program, has now backed out. There is a BJP government in Maharashtra, BJP government in Delhi. Shiv Sena is the ally. Would you concede that what the Shiv Sena has done has embarrassed Narendra Modi's government at centre and the Fadnavis government in Maharashtra, or not, Mr. Rakesh Sinha?
Look, the Shiv Sena has its own perspective on Pakistan, and there cannot be a singular perspective on Pakistan. There are multiple perspectives of Pakistan, and Shiv Sena represents one of the perspectives. So, in democracy, nobody can force any political party to adopt a particular kind of perspective about Pakistan or any other policy. As far as this incident is concerned, everybody, Shiv Sena is completely isolated, and I believe that Shiv Sena is a four decades old political party, and time and context has changed. With this change of the time and context and the reference point, Shiv Sena should change its political agenda and political culture. It should not go beyond the democracy and the constitutional limits. So everybody agrees, and I think Shiv Sena should rethink, reintrospect, reorient, and redefine itself.
Have they embarrassed the BJP? Because I heard you on our Hindi channel Aaj Tak saying this is a fixed match. That you in some way were putting the blame on Sudheendra Kulkarni, saying this is a fixed match involving Sudheendra Kulkarni.
Having said this, that Shiv Sena should not go beyond this democratic limit and constitutional limit. There is a class of intellectuals in this country who are fascinated to Pakistan and very unrealistic. They are not like Parthasarathy, who is very realistic, and I respect his assessment of Pakistan and reality he has faced, and he is narrating to us. But there are a class of intellectuals who are fascinated with Pakistan, and they give unrealistic picture about the dialogue between people and people dialogue, and they receive the Pakistani liberals who come to Indian soil and give a big preaching to Indian people. But at the same time, when they go back to Pakistan soil, they are with the establishment, they are with the non-state actors. They don't say anything, not a word. They have not
boycott
said any word for.
So boycott them. Don't read Kasuri's book. Boycott them. Don't read Kasuri's books. Put stage black flags. How can you throw black ink on someone?
Rajdeep, nobody is approving that. But Rajdeep, one thing you marked it. Sudheendra Kulkarni invited the people in the panel discussion, not like Parthasarathy, but he invited the people who support referendum in Kashmir. Like A.G. Nurani, everybody has read repeated articles of A.G. Nurani for referendum in Kashmir. He considers India's Kashmir as a part of Pakistan. He never supports POK to be parliament.
So you're saying Sudheendra Kulkarni, I get your point.
We all know Dilip Padgaokar's view on Kashmir and Pakistan.
So I think that the panel discussion was one-sided glorification of Pakistan, glorification of Kasuri. This
Okay, I get your point. Rakesh, I get your point. Rakesh, I get your point. I just want to get a Congress perspective also. The Congress today, Mr. Keshavan has gone and said this is a shame of India. May I remind you that when Nikhil Wagle was attacked, the Congress was in power. When many journalists have been attacked in the past, Congress has been in power in Mumbai. You have done nothing to stop the Shiv Sena for the last 48 years. In fact, Shiv Sena has grown in Mumbai because of the Congress, many would say. Would you concede that you have no moral right to say shame of Mumbai?
Rajdeep, first you have to understand that when the incident happened, when even you were protested against and Mr. Wagle was attacked, Congress and Shiv Sena were not in government like they are today. Like you very clearly said, they are partners in hand, they are hand in glove, and they are doing this in a very dubious Janus-faced manner. Let me just pinpoint three things to you. Let me be uninterrupted for a second. The Shiv Sena cannot answer the question that even Mr. Rakesh Sinha should answer. Why did the Shiv Sena not protest that this visa was given? It is, if they really had intent, whether it was Atif Aslam or Ghulam Ali, they would have protested. And I'll tell you one more thing. Mr. Aditya Thackeray, they said, went to a global enclave and they said he distanced himself. Oh no, he didn't know. There was Mr. Rahat Ali Khan there. I mean, they see this is a very, 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 very cynical way of dealing with things. And one more question today. Michael Hasan, you would have heard, Michael Hasan is an Indo-Pakistani band. Rajdeep, they are being forced by the Shiv Sena to stop performing today at 8 o'clock in Ahmedabad. What kind of influence did Shiv Sena have in Ahmedabad? This very clearly exposes this dubious nexus.
Mr. Keshavan, just a minute.
I mean,
Mr. Keshavan, 1 minute. You did not again answer. Politicians never answer the question. I asked you a basic question. The Congress over the years, when Shiv Sena was yes, it was in opposition, but when they were attacking journalists, the Congress never stood for the journalists. In many cases, FIRs were not filed properly, which is why the Shiv Sena today believes it can get away. Just a minute. Just a minute, sir. Just a minute. I just want to bring in Mr. Parthasarathy to the issue that you are raising. They are raising why was a visa.
Let me answer that.
1 minute. I'll let you answer. Why was a visa given to Mr. Kasuri in the first place? How do you respond?
Let me tell you one thing. The person who introduced this liberal visa policy when I was Consul General in Karachi was no less than the then External Affairs Minister, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He said, "Logon se koi dushmani nahi. If ordinary public wants to meet their relatives, be liberal. If they are people promoting friendship, be liberal." So I am very clear in my mind. I think we should deal far more ruthlessly than we are with the military and the jihadis. But there is a constituency which you need to deal with, as Mr. Vajpayee and successive governments have done. The other point I wish to make is on Mr. Kasuri's book. There are factual errors. India never agreed in discussions to either joint mechanisms for various things in Kashmir, nor did we agree to any...
Would you give a visa? Would you give a visa? Would you allow cricket engagements?
Every government in India...
Would you allow cricket matches between the two countries?
Every government in India since the consulate in Karachi was started in 79 has this policy. There has been no change of policy with regard to visas for people coming for legitimate use, who in the views of the ambassador or consul general are coming to promote good relations with India. Let me come to Kasuri's book. There are these factual errors he has made which need to be corrected. But Kasuri belonged to a period as foreign minister between 2004 and 2007 when there were no terrorist attacks. Two more points I want to make. One, I agree that the panel that Sudheendra got was
imbalanced.
Was unbalanced, one-sided.
Okay. Last point.
One other point with Sudheendra. I have disagreed with him both on his approach to Jinnah, which incidentally my former boss Rajiv Gandhi completely disagreed with what he said in those days, and I've also disagreed with many of the ways he approaches Pakistan. But I have to respect his views. I can't call him as being less patriotic than me just because he has different views. I hope he would. And as I said, this panel was disgraceful.
I'm just wondering though, Nikhil Wagle, whether all this is linked, as you said at the start, Nikhil Wagle, to this battle, this competition which is existing today in Mumbai between the BJP and Shiv Sena. We've seen it on meat ban issue. Now we are seeing it on this book. That who is more nationalistic? I don't know how many Shiv Senics have actually gone to the border when our soldiers are killed to actually condole with the families. I am not aware of it. But the fact is the Shiv Sena claims to be more patriotic, it appears, than the BJP, because local municipal elections are coming up in Kalyan, Dombivli, and in 15 months in Mumbai. Do you get a sense that this entire battle is actually over that as to who is more patriotic today?
Definitely, Rajdeep, you are perfectly right. This is about competitive politics. Shiv Sena is playing secondary role in government. They are not happy with Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis. Yesterday, for the Bhumi Pujan of Dr. Ambedkar Memorial, Shiv Sena was invited at last minute. Shiv Sena is angry with BJP also. And now there are elections, municipal elections in cities like Kolhapur, Kalyan, Dombivli, and we will have municipal election in many cities along with Mumbai. So Shiv Sena wants to flex its muscle, political muscle, and wants
but will
to
it
show
work?
That they
will it work? Do you believe majority of Mumbaikars support this kind of behavior? Because Manisha Kayande on our program said, I am speaking for the people of Mumbai.
No, they can't speak on behalf of people of Mumbai. I will tell you, Mumbai is polarized. There is a section of Mumbaikars who support Shiv Sena, but not that all Marathi people, all Maharashtrian people support Shiv Sena. You see, we are against terrorism. Maharashtrian people are also against terrorism, but we want democracy to survive, tolerance to survive. And Shiv Sena attacks the same tolerance. Today is the lesson for Shiv Sena and also Mumbaikars. When government stands firm, when government provides police protection to such programs, Shiv Sena backtracks. In past also, when Shah Rukh Khan's My Name is Khan was released, government at that time, Congress NCP government provided security to that film, and Shiv Sena went back. So whenever there is a proper law and order machinery, and whenever police take firm stand, Shiv Sena backtracks. So this is the lesson for Shiv Sena. Now Aditya Thackeray is third generation leader of Shiv Sena. Whatever happened 25 years ago, when in 90s Balasaheb Thackeray took stand against Indo-Pak cricket series, but the world had changed, and Aditya Thackeray must know that he requires to change himself and his party. Otherwise, young generation will go away from Shiv Sena.
Okay, that's a good point on which I should conclude because I have written an open letter to Aditya Thackeray, which he has replied to. I can tell you that there is an open letter.
Rajdeep, I have one intervention.
Yeah, yes, you can
I need to make a quick point.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Question.
Yeah, first you, Rakesh. First you, Rakesh.
My due respect to Nikhil Wagle.
Yes.
I want to. No, he is master of hypocrisy and the conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Nikhil Wagle himself uses so many times words which are injurious, and his Hindu bashing is well known. So I think if Shiv Sena is doing something which should be disapproved, Nikhil Wagle's writings and
No, but you have every right.
What is Hindu in this?
He is promoting the same Nikhil Wagle is promoting same kind of undemocratic culture through his writings.
No, he is...
What undemocratic culture? I have not attacked anyone. I have every right to criticize Shiv Sena.
One minute, Mr. Keswan.
No, you have every right, but you are injurious. You are injurious.
Mr. Rakesh Sinha, Mr. Rakesh Sinha, your ideologue, Ved Prakash Vaidya went and made Hafiz Saeed.
Democratic culture.
No, one minute.
You think about that hypocrisy.
No, 1 minute.
And go beyond the constitution.
No, 1 minute. 1 minute, Mr.
Rakesh Sinha.
Yes, go ahead.
I think you should reply about this hypocrisy. Why Ved Prakash Vaidya went and met Hafiz Saeed? He's your person, your journalist, your supporter.
I am not responsible. Ved Pratap Vaidya is not the part of Sangha Parivar, and Sangha Parivar is not responsible for each and every citizen of the country.
He's part of Sangha Parivar.
No, 1 minute. 1 minute. I'm going to. There will be no cross talk. Mr. Sinha,
don't bring any.
I am asking my producers to...
This is just undemocratic.
As you are advising me, I have right to advise you.
Okay, at the end of the day, no one has the right. No one has the right. Sir, no one has the right to take the law into their own hands. I'm asking my producer not to allow cross talks. But Mr. Keswan, you've been waiting. I will give you and Mr. Parthasarathi 30 seconds each. First, you, Mr. Keswan, you never answered my question. The Congress today is largely responsible for the Shiv Sena getting away for 48 years. I have seen it myself. I was in Mumbai when the Shiv Sena attacked us. You did nothing. Your party is equally responsible. Don't try and take the moral high ground.
Please understand the Shiv. No, I'm not. I'm addressing the issue straight here. The Shiv Sena is a history shitter when it comes to, intolerant medieval vigilantism. Everybody knows that. Please remember in 2006.
So why did you arrest them in those years? Why did you arrest them and lock them up?
Let me complete. Let me complete. Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. When the Pakistan, there was a problem with Pakistan participating in the Champions Trophy. It was the Congress government who made it happen. In 2012, you'll remember when Pakistani, performers were there in a reality show. Even Asha Bhosleji was, stopped by Shiv Sena to become a judge. It was the Congress party which took a firm stand and ensured that this happened. So, see, the problem here is that, dubious double-speak, Janus-faced approach of the BJP. After Modi has come, there is a climate, it's enveloped with bigotry, hate and prejudice. And
okay, you made your point.
That. And here, individual rights, institutional freedoms are under threat. Okay. And the BJP and Shiv Sena together are taking advantage of the situation.
Okay, you made your point. I'm going to ask you, therefore, in conclusion, is it, and a quick final point, do you
book release function. So Congress has fractured views.
No, 1 minute, Rakesh ji, 1 minute. 1 minute now, let's not have cross talk. 30 seconds. Do you believe that there is something for the Indian state to be worried about? That look, at the end of the day, today it's Sudheendra Kulkarni, it's black ink. Tomorrow it could be something more serious. Is there a fear that you have that the state has to intervene now? No FIR, Mr. Parthasarathy, has still been filed in this case as yet. The people have not been identified. Do you get a sense that there is a believe that you can get away with incidents like this? You've been part of the state. 30 seconds.
Let me put it this way as a diplomat. What has happened today is viral across the world. It has not just blackened the face of Mr. Sudheendra Kulkarni. It has blackened India. It has demeaned India as image across the world. All one can do is to appeal that, look, let us agree to disagree, but not resort to violence, and blackening of one's face amounts to violence. There goes everything which the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, stood for, non-violence.
Okay, let's leave it at that. And that is in fact part of my debate at the moment, which is going on online with Aditya Thackeray, who says that blackening someone's face is actually democratic and historic. It's not necessarily an act of non-violence. I leave it to the judgment of you, the viewer, to decide what constitutes violence. For now, I'm glad that at least on this show we've had only verbal violence. We haven't had any actual throwing of ink on each other. That's the nature of democracy. You have the right to dissent. You have the right to debate. Rakesh Sinha, Mr. Parthasarathy, Mr. Keswan, Nikhil Wagle, and earlier Manisha Kande, I appreciate your joining us on the program. Let's take a break. When we return, it's precisely that climate of intolerance which several writers now say is leading to the Academy revolt.